Hey. Long time no see, everybody. Welcome to my show. Make sure you all share this Periscope and invite your friends on. I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to do so. Welcome. Let Shauna wrap you. If you are new to my channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up and tell me where you're from. Hello. Let me turn this around really quick. Hold on 1 second. 1 minute. One second. All right. So if you are new, give me a thumbs up. Tell me where you're from. Also, make sure you're following. Slide the screen to the left and make sure you all click follow. Hello, Ashley from Fayetteville. And hello from Charlotte. Let me see. Miss Jew. Hello from Texas. Hello to Chicago. Yes, I am wearing my God is my PR shirt. And some people say, what is PR? Okay, a PR agency is a company that helps you to get publicity and help to get your business out there and grow your business. So I believe that God is the person that does that for me, and he helps me take my business and myself to the next level in my life. Okay, and if you like this shirt, you can get it at highheelshighgoals.com. So make sure you grab yourself one and let everyone know that God is your PR, because he is your PR. He is definitely your PR. Once again, you can get it at highheelshighgoals.com. Who else do we have? I see we have the Young and Free team on here. Hello, Young and Free team. Welcome to my Periscope. Who else do we have? Let me know where you're from. All right, Jabby Basin. Yes, hey, Jabby. Hello, Alicia. How you doing? Thank you. I use It Works Skincare. You can get this skincare from gethollywoodskin.com. And I use the exfoliating peel and the cleanser because it's amazing. High Heels, High Goals is for anyone. It is for women regardless of what business you're in. It is a professional organization where we connect women all over the world. We talk about everything from spirituality, success, business, personal issues, relationships. It is for any woman. It's an amazing organization, and we are growing all over the world right now. So it doesn't matter what business you're in. You can be in any business you want to be in. You can have a small business. You can be a teacher. You don't even have to have a business. It's for professionals. So yes, High Heels, High Goals is for any woman. Hello from Turkey. Hi, Turkey. How you doing? Ronnie B in the house. Yes. So let me go ahead and get this party started. Make sure you invite your friends to this Periscope because it's going to be really, really awesome. Hi, Beverly from Florida. All right. Hello, Tiffany. Nice to see you. Can't wait to get your shirt as well over there in Indiana. Hello to Houston, Texas. I love seeing you all. I feel like, I haven't seen you in a while. So just seeing everyone kind of show up has been amazing. So this is how we normally work this. If you love what you're hearing, make sure you send your hearts. Make sure you're following. Make sure you tell your friends. And just make sure that you're giving me some feedback in the middle of this. I love to interact with you all while I'm doing these recordings because it's really, really exciting and fun. I love the interaction. Today, the topic of this Periscope is just because you see the fruit doesn't mean there wasn't a process. And someone says they love my DC accent. Thank you. Is it country? Everyone says it's country. But, everyone always says I sound super country, but in my mind, I'm not going to believe that. But what I was saying was today we're going to talk about the fact that a lot of times we think that people are only just seeing the fruit. And we think that people are just only having this overnight success. And we only see the success, right? We don't see the labor and all the time they put in to get what they wanted. And that's what's really, really important. And I miss you all, so I wanted to just take a minute to check in. I know I haven't been on here in a very long time. I try not to over Periscope, try to make you miss me a little bit. But you know, just because you see the fruit doesn't mean that there wasn't a process. And this is important for us to remember this. I have so many people who've reached out to me, and they're looking at everyone else. They're looking at their success and the things that they're experiencing in their lives now. You see their businesses growing. You see that good things are happening for them. And you're wondering and you're asking yourself, why not you? Why isn't it happening for you? You're working hard, you're building your business, you're doing all these things, but in the back of your head, you feel like it isn't happening for you fast enough. And that's okay. Everyone has those moments, but I just want to encourage you and remind you that just because you're seeing someone's fruit right now and you're seeing their success and you see their business growing and you see all these things that are happening for them, I want you to remember the part that you didn't see. And those were all the people that told them no. Those were all the people who doubted them. Those were all the people who turned them down. All of those things. So you have to wait your turn. Your time is coming. It's not your time yet. And a lot of times it's so difficult for us to accept that. We start to feel defeated. We want to give up in where we're going. We're looking for people to open up doors for us. We're looking for a PR, PR, and we have to remember that God is our PR, and He's going to open up those doors for us when it's our time. And it's so easy for us to look at other people and get caught up in what's happening for them, how they're growing, and you think that it's happening so fast. And I just really have to stress this, because a lot of people look even at me and they didn't see the times when I was out here really struggling, trying to build my business, going around selling product. I used to make candles in my home, and I remember going in parking lots and setting up tables to try to sell my product because I could not afford to vend at a public place and couldn't afford to get a vending table, so I had to do those things. Another time I remember is when I didn't have a car. I remember catching the bus, dragging my children around on the metro, and all of those things, and people weren't there. Only a very few people were there to witness those times in my life. But people see the things that are happening now and they think that it happened overnight. And it didn't happen that way. I had people who were watching me then. And the reason why I made this video is because I took my daughter to practice the other day, and I was just standing there as she was practicing. She's in gymnastics and cheerleading now. And this guy walked over to me and he said, "You don't know me, but I know you." And he said, "I followed you for a very long time, years, on Facebook." And he said, "I remember when you were selling candles in a parking lot. I rode past you." He said, "It was so hot outside. I don't even think you had air conditioning in your car, but your windows were down in your car." And he said, "I remember your process." He said, "I remember that." He said, "And I'm watching you now, and I see everything that's happening for you." And he said, "I just wanted to come over here. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I wanted to come over here and tell you how proud of you I am." And it's moments like that that really melt my heart. And I just really want to remind people that things don't happen overnight. I don't care how hard you work on the outside, trying to get publicity, trying to get your business out there, trying to promote your business. You have to wait until God is ready to elevate you. And sometimes God delays those promotions and things in your life because He knows that deep down inside, somewhere, you are not ready. And what you have to remember is to not question your delay. Sometimes the delay is a divine delay. We want things to happen so fast for us in life because we're so busy looking at everyone else and their success, and we're wondering, why can't it be us? Why isn't it happening for us? Why does it look like her business is growing and I'm just working so hard over here and it's not happening for me? And that is not how you do it. You have to put your blinders on. I always like to remind people that when people are in a race, I watch people who run track on TV all the time, and when they're running, I realize that they keep their head forward. They keep their head forward. They always run with their heads up in the air and their hands going, and they're focused. their focus. And what I've noticed is they're always trained to stay ahead, looking ahead. Even in horse races, you ever realize why they have the capes around the horses' faces and the glasses and all those things on them? Because they don't want them to look to the side. They don't want them to look to the left. They don't want them to look to the right. Because the reason why they don't want them to look to the left or to the right is because when you start looking at other people, it slows you down. And I believe that while you are in your process, God is working on you. So when a person turns around to pass the baton, they slow down. When a horse looks to the left and they're racing to the finish line, it slows them down. So you have to get to the point in your life where you just keep on running. Because I was running for so many years in my life and I wasn't watching the next person. But the moment that I always got stuck and I started to look and analyze and watch what everyone else was doing, I realized that it was a distraction. And that distraction slowed me down. So I want to encourage you to stop looking side to side and looking at other people's success and what's happening for them, and to just keep on running and put your blinders on. But most importantly, wait for God to open up those doors for you. I do not care how hard you try to put yourself out there. You do not have control. And once you realize that, you'll just be patient. I do not care how hard you work. I do not care how hard you promote. I do not care how hard you try. The doors will not open for you until God is ready to open those doors for you in your lives. So you have to be patient, put your blinders on, and keep running. And another thing is, many of you all just started running. Unfortunately, we live in the day and the age of a microwave world where people want it so quick and so fast, and it's not going to happen like that. You haven't even worked hard enough yet. You haven't put in enough work yet. You haven't got enough rejection yet. You haven't got turned down enough. You haven't failed enough. Because all those things are part of what is going to qualify you to be successful. So until you have gone through those things and you have faced that adversity, you can't stand up and say, hey, I remember when I was here. I remember when I went through this. I remember when I went through that. A lot of you all want to graduate before you've gone to school. So trust the process. Don't rush the process. And the people that you're looking at right now, I want to remind you that they had a process. You're seeing the fruit of their labor now, but you are forgetting that they had a process. It took me almost 7 to 8 years for me to finally start seeing my business grow. 7 to 8 years. You know, let me just tell you, through those 7 to 8 years, I probably started feeling like God forgot about me or I was left out. But it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. I had so much grooming that needed to take place in my life, and I wasn't ready then. I know that if God would have given me what he would have given me then, oh my gosh, I would have been going nowhere fast. I wasn't ready mentally because there were still some choices that I would have made that weren't the right choices at that time. If I would have got that right then and there when I wanted it, I wasn't ready. I was not ready. My mind was not ready. And I didn't understand it then. But I understand it now because I was still making bad choices back then. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't financially ready to make choices. I wasn't mentally ready. If I would have got what I have now then, I would be broke probably because I made bad financial choices then. So trust God's delay, and remember that when you are looking at people's success today, remember that there was a process. There was a process. Many of them won't talk about it. But I'm going to remind you that there was a process. They went through a lot. Let me just share this last story before I wrap up. I remember being in a club with a table of handmade candles sitting on the table. I had made these candles in my home. I melted down soy and put oil in the candles, and I ordered jars and I put labels on them, and I ordered wicks, and I did these one by one in my home, and nobody helped me. My children, I had 3 kids at that time, they sat there and they watched me. And I was making these candles because it was the only way that I could pay my bills, okay? And my children witnessed that. But I was going to clubs, and I was setting up tables, and I was in there trying to get people to buy product from me. And while this was going on, I had people who were in there who were friends of mine, people who knew me, and they would look at me and they would laugh and they would joke and they would tell people she's crazy. All of those things. But they didn't understand where God was taking me, and the fact that I had to be humbled and I had to be willing to be mocked and laughed at for me to get to the next level in my life. And today I look back on that experience, and it was not embarrassing. It was the best training I ever received in my life, because now I can do the biggest events, and I could go out and I could set up anywhere, and I could sell, I could do whatever I need to do. But it all came from the training. I can adapt to any environment, from clubs to wherever you put me. I am not afraid to speak, and I'm not afraid to talk to people about my business. But it came from the training that I got through doing that. And the people there, my friends, they didn't understand what I was doing. But I knew, to be honest with you, that if I didn't sell 4 candles, then me and my kids weren't going to be able to order Domino's that night, because I didn't have any food in my house. So it was okay, but I had to go through that process to get where God was taking me. And a lot of people see everything that's happening now. They see the now, but they weren't interested in seeing then. They weren't interested. I was just a funny person then. I remember being at a pool party one night, and I was walking around with a little table, like a tray on my hand, and all my friends were at the pool party, and they were jumping in and they were having fun, and the music was on, and it was at this mansion, and I was the person walking around with product on a tray. Okay, I was making my own candles and my own makeup, and I was walking around on the tray serving, asking people did they want lip gloss, and the women were buying the product, and I was having them taking pictures. I had them taking pictures for me, holding my candles and my cosmetics, and I was marketing. And I didn't realize that was marketing. I didn't realize that I was a marketing maven then. But the people there didn't realize it either. They were laughing and chuckling. Look at this girl walking around with these lip glosses, trying to sell lip gloss for $10. Okay? They didn't understand. And now those same people come up to me and they say, Ronnie, I remember that. So a lot of people, they don't see the process. They only see the fruit. So I want to encourage you that when you see somebody getting to the point in their lives when doors are opening up and things are happening for them, I want you to remember that there was a process associated with all of those things. There was a process associated with all those things. And you are still handling your process and going through your process. So continue to go through your process right now. Because if you don't go through that process, you won't have a testimony. Just like this is my testimony. Continue to write your testimony. So thank you all for listening today. Make sure you check out my website. It's RonnieB.com. That's RONNE, the letter B.com. And also, if you're interested in partnering with me along this journey where I help people find financial freedom and live the life that they want to live and be mentored personally by me, you can do so by going to joinRonnieB.com. Also, if you are a woman in business or you want to get around some other women who are doing amazing things, make sure you check out my professional women's organization. It's High Heels, High Goals. It is highheelshighgoals.com, and you can also follow us on High Heels High Goals on Instagram. And make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. My name is Miss Ronnie. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you check me out. Love you. Bye, y'all. Have a good one.